Peace, Trae. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, well, thank you for staying committed to your promise of coming back.
Oh,
You know what I
believe that.
mean? But you're always engaged and involved in so many amazing community initiatives. Tell us a bit about the background of this peer support group. Like, what got it going, Curtis?
Well, really, it's sponsored by Ashley McGirt Adair, the Washington Therapy Fund. She received some funds to be able to provide groups like this in our community. So she looked with people with lived experiences to be able to share from their experience and provide space for others to be able to come in and find support. So I reached out and we decided that I would do this Next Level Gentlemen men's peer support group, and it's just based around things, challenges that we all face, obstacles that we as men go through growing up, and becoming men, the different things that come along with family and marriage and relationships and work and all that stuff. So it's just being able to provide a space where men can come, feel safe, and have these conversations.
Well, we all know how necessary this is, Curtis. I mean, honestly, the space of just men gathering
Yes.
oftentimes is so limited.
Yes.
And there's something to be said about the safety that some men really can feel when they're in a space that's really built specifically for them. What kind of things are you excited about in terms of what some of the men will be able to really receive from this peer support group?
Really what I'm excited about is being able to provide the space through the community work that we've done, with the Zola Wellness Experience, the Ancestral Healing Circles, Dr. Mims in the conversation that she had and some few others. I have been wanting to do this for a while, to get a space just for men. And I know it's difficult for us to be vulnerable, to feel transparent, but by going through and experiencing these other groups, what it helped me to understand is that's all we really need. It doesn't really need to be led in a certain direction. It's just space for men when they can come in and feel safe. After a while, you start to see people open up because people really do want to share. And we as men really do want to share. We've been taught to stifle things and not, really let these things out and not to wear our heart on our sleeve because it makes us look weak. Right? Or it makes us look vulnerable. So, we may feel that people now, they're threats because we feel vulnerable. So I really wanted to be able to provide that space where people could just come in, where men could come in and just feel vulnerable, transparent, talk, get it out. Two things that I'm looking forward to is when they come in and talk, they can get it off of their chest. There's a lot of things that we carry, this weight that we carry, that we just need to get off our chest. But then the second part of that is by getting it off our chest, there may be people in the room who've gone through what you've been through, multiple people in the room. So now not only do you have one way, but multiple ways that are potentially best practices for you to be able to move forward and this no longer be a weight or burden that you have to carry. And then also knowing that you're not carrying it alone. Other people are going through similar things. We always think we're the only ones going through what we go through.
Yeah, that isolation is real. But I mean, something you also expressed here is, men coming in and feeling like they can be vulnerable. How do you promote it in that way so that people understand, like, this is what this space is built for and that they can come in and let their guard down? Because I find sometimes that's the hard part, see?
Yeah. That's going to take work, right? Because no man is going to walk in feeling that this is a safe space and I can just open up the first day, right? Generally, that generally doesn't happen. So what we do is just through the promotion, we keep saying it is a safe space. And the important part is once they get into that, they see that it's a safe space. There's ground rules that we follow. We're confidential. We keep things confidential. The things that happen here is like Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What we talk about here stays here, right? But it's just really being an example of that, and being transparent. Because I really, based on being on the show and me sharing from my past and my experience, I had no problem with that. So just really being an example of that and then making sure that the safe really is a safe space and people feel that so now that they feel that they can open up.
Yeah. And what kind of ways are you getting this out into community so folks know this exists? I mean, I think about the fact that there's probably so many who need this, Curtis, right? And the idea of them being able to be exposed to the opportunity, I think also is key to getting the right folks involved to say, man, I haven't been able to feel this kind of space ever,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And like, I need this in my life. What kind of ways are y'all being intentional to really pour it out there into community?
Well, right now we're putting it out through social media, promoting that way. It's on the Washington Therapy Fund website. It's on my website, and just sharing whoever I can talk to. Luckily, you know, I do have people who follow what I do on social media. So there's been a lot of people that I appreciate who've shared the flyer, shared the information, encouraged brothers. You know, brothers come out, kings come out. So I really appreciate everybody who's, you know, helped to promote it with me.
Yeah.
But mainly through social media right now.
Well, it's, you know, you have to have a robust campaign, and it's great to know that people are picking it up and, you know, being willing to share it. I mean, that's really a part of it. I also, I think about the fact that, like, my father, when I think about, man, my father was lucky enough, I don't know if it's luck, but he was blessed enough to have like some close friends around him. And he only had a few that were like, man, you know, from long time, you know, generations of like, it was like they had been through some stuff for decades, right? To have them around him. But I think about so many that I know that have isolated themselves, kind of cut themselves off from those opportunities. And I mean men, right? Like, because again, there's a lot of this, what you were talking about, I must be the only one going through this. I got to stay strong. I got to be a provider for my family. I don't have time to dive into these feelings or whatever else I got going on, these thoughts, whatever it is. And so I love that you say you really want to set an example and really expose them to that, because you have shared things here and in community with folks so that they know that they can do it as well. What does this process look like if someone joins this peer support group? Is this something they get to do for some weeks on time? What does this whole process look like?
Yeah, like I said, it's really just space. Right now we're doing it every other Wednesday. We're starting tomorrow, Wednesday, the 22nd, 6 p.m. It's at Monica's Village Place up there on 23rd and King. And it's just every other week we're just creating space. There's no set program, no specific curriculum or anything like that. It's just really coming in and allowing men, and kind of my thought, because we haven't had the first one yet, but my thought, because I want the men to kind of lead it, even though I'm the facilitator and providing the space, I'm there for support too, right? So it's not me being the guru. So really just kind of having a piece of paper or a board, you write on there, what do you want to talk about today? You know, and then we go down the list, and the kind of how we choose which one we go in order. You know, whoever gets there first, that's the one we're going to start with. And we're going to go down the list until we hit them all.
Well, I think that this is really so special. To be honest, it just goes back to like a village caring for each other. Like, that's what I'm hearing here. And it reminds me of how we run critical conversations with Dr. Maxine Mims, right? It's not about like a specific thing we need to get through to that day. Everyone gets to share what they need. And it is, you know, she said 28 years this year. They're celebrating doing it for 28 years. And we realize that every third Friday, folks come on and they share because they're ready to share, and just providing the space. So I love that it's not a set curriculum. It's not like these really specific goals we're trying to get out of, because sometimes we find that with grant money, there's all these different ties. You got to do all this reporting to showcase, well, who was showing up and what stuff were you covering. It's like, no, what we need in community is more of these spaces. So, man, kudos to you, Steve, for knowing that it's necessary and that you're able to really provide that example. I only will that it's a success. I mean, I can foresee that it will be, but I think you're right. When folks get wind of the fact that every other Wednesday there's a space for them to just come and share whatever it is going on with them, and to find that level of support that's necessary. Maybe it's also about building these relationships in community, because some folks are like isolated and don't do that. Thank you for putting this out there.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. And like you said, with Dr. Mims, 28 years, it's consistency. And that you were talking about how you build that trust, how you build that level of vulnerability when people come in, by being there every week and they get to know you. It's not just transactional, it's transformational. We want to be there every week, that they know these 2 times a month, and we want to increase it to where it's every week. And then we're also going to share to some other brothers like Men in the Middle Passage and a couple other programs that we want to share with people as well. So we all work collaboratively together so that any day of the week that they need support, they got a place that they can go and get it.
Oh, Curtiss, and always a pleasure.
Thank
Kudos to you. Of course, as folks need to tap in, please share the websites. How do they learn more? How do they, maybe there's some men that they want to get connected to this program. Look right there. Let them know how to tap in.
Thank you. So, you can go to CurtissCalhoun.com. The event is there, and the link to sign up is there. Washington Therapy Fund website, you can go to Peer Support Group, and if you scroll down, I'm in there, and the link to the event is there. But mainly, it's at every other Wednesday, starting tomorrow, Wednesday the 22nd, and it's going to be at 6 o'clock Pacific time at Monica's Village Place, 140 23rd Avenue South, Seattle, Washington, 98144.
Wow. So it sounds like folks can also just show up, too, if they need to just show up.
Oh, absolutely.
You're like, just come.
Yeah,
the doors is open.
Just come. We're going to have food, too. We always got food.
Always
We always got goodies
food.
and snacks. So
there it is.
Yeah.
There, now you're talking. No. Thank you
that might
so
have just
much.
brought a whole nother.
Yeah, like they're like, oh, wait, so I ain't got to worry about dinner, too. I mean, that's really that's a part
absolutely,
of it, right?
Absolutely.
But thank you so much for, really leading this effort. And shout out to Washington Therapy Fund for finding another way to really bring services that are so necessary in our community. I'm so glad that you are leading and a part of this, Curtiss.
Oh, thank you for allowing me to come share it and promote it and be able to let people know that it's going on. And also, I got to say happy anniversary to my wife.
Happy
17 years. Got to do that. 17 years to baby.
Oh, Hasna, my queen. Happy anniversary
Had to get
you
that in
both.
before you cut us off.
Of course you do. Look, anytime you need to start with that, you let me know. You said, look, before we get into it, no, don't worry. I mean, you know what? Kudos to you and Hasna. Y'all both are such a power couple. She is dedicated to community as much as you are, and the support that y'all show each other in public means something to me, as I'm still on the search. Don't worry. Don't worry. I am inspired.
Don't worry. She's trying to find somebody for you. She's trying to hook you up.
I'm inspired by y'all's love story. And you know what? I mean, we need to probably have y'all on the Black Love When We Met couch because we got to talk all about your story. Happy anniversary, Hasna and Curtiss.
Thank you.
Congratulations on 17 years of unionship. It's just beautiful to hear that. And also, thank you again, both of you, for being in bed and community the way you are. It's necessary.
We don't know any other way to be.
I know
Thank you,
that's
Trae.
right.
Appreciate you.
Oh, my gosh. I get to...